Hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're here for another installment of the TBR Taper Down.
Good name.
I'm trying out some new ones. We're super excited. Honestly, this series has been really refreshing so far. And it's just so nice to read all these new things. So I'm really happy with all of the choices. Unfortunately, today, I'm starting us out with one that is the perfect example of why I should not be left unsupervised.
Oh my gosh.
Because this is one that I bought after the buy freeze. So it's a newer one to the TBR. But we're just going to hop right in, talk through the stories we've been reading so that we can, continue down the list. So the first one I'm starting with today is Melting Point. This is a sports boy love, and it is on Leeson. It's brand new with 6 episodes. So you've got plenty of time to catch up. Mm-hmm. It's like on one of those sequential releases. So it's every 5th, 15th, and 25th. And this story is already so great. I am like itching for more episodes. It revolves around Ian Ryu. He is a professional hockey player. He is like Korea's pride and joy because they're not really known for hockey. Mm-hmm. And so he's a Korean national who did move with his family to Canada, and he played for Toronto for a lot of years. And where we're at in the story, he's actually just come back to Korea to join their national team. He brings them to an almost victory, but they do end up losing. But everyone's like, it's his first year back. Like, he's just getting his mojo back. He's going to be incredible. And he is the talk of the town. Mm-hmm. Now, Yoon-sun, who is our other male lead, he works for like a marketing team for sportswear. So they're all trying to come up with all of these different sponsors that they want for their products. And they're like, we want Ian Ryu. He's a hot commodity. And if he's marketing all of our different sports gear, wearing our tennis shoes, our clothes, like it'll give us a lot of visibility and a lot of reach. So they're like, okay, who's going to put together this presentation? They're going to have to put something together. They're going to have to propose, a plan for him, try to get him to work with us. And unfortunately, his team knows that he played hockey previously. So they're like, no one else but Yoon-sun really knows the sport.
This sounds very familiar.
No one else but Yoon-sun knows what he's doing. And he's like, literally, I stopped playing when I was a kid. Like, stop giving me all the credit. I don't want to do this. But he reluctantly agrees because it's his job and he kind of doesn't have a choice. So he's voluntold. But it's inferred that Yoon-sun is familiar with Ian, and there's not a great relationship there. You're not really sure why right away, but you kind of see him try to shrug it off. He's like, I'm just going to put it behind me. I'm going to do a good job for my work's sake because this is my reputation on the line. And so, fine, I'll play your little games. I'll try to get you to work with us for, product promotion. And he is kind of like splashing his face with water as the presentation comes up. He's like, okay, I'm just going to do this. Like, got to grin and bear it. And who walks into the bathroom while he's trying to give himself a pep talk but Ian? And Ian's giving him a bunch of shit. He's like, oh, really? Is it that terrible to face me? You have to splash yourself with water. And Yoon-sun's like, yes, actually. Goodbye. So, for pride's sake, Yoon-sun puts in a lot of good work. He does the presentation. And Ian it's increasingly obvious that he's just being confrontational on purpose. Like, he's asking a lot of questions. Like, it just looks like Ian doesn't want to work with them. Yeah. And so Yoon-sun at the very end, like, he's being berated with all these questions. He handles it super professionally. And then something just kind of snaps. Ian's like, why should I want to work with your product? And Yoon-sun goes, it's actually kind of obvious you don't want to work with our product, so I won't be taking any more questions. Ooh. And Ian's manager and some of his team is like looking at him. They're like, you're being a dick. Like, what the hell is going on? And Ian's like, oh no, I want to work with them. So like, let's sign a contract. They're like, what the hell just happened? They're all getting whiplash. They're like looking back and forth at the two of them arguing. But Ian does agree. He's like, I want to sign the contract. But the terms that they lay out are a little suspicious because Ian says, I'll do this, but only if Yoonsun specifically is like working as a campaign manager and is with me like during all of the promotional content. And Yoonsun's like, fuck no, that's not my job. I never agreed to this. I do all the pitches and I try to get you to work with our product. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
But it's going to bring in a lot of money. And the company's like, I mean, Yoonsun, you have to do it. He took a liking to you. He's like, no, he didn't. Anyone who was there would have known.
Oh my gosh.
So Yoonsun ends up running into Ian, who's like, are you going to sign? Are you going to do the contract? And he goes, this is my job. Leave me alone. I don't know why you're making these terms because we don't want to see each other.
Yeah.
And Ian's like, well, on the contrary, I do want to see you. And so Yoonsun is like, why? It's obvious you're just being a dick. And Ian's like, well, I can't tell you that. You'll have to figure it out. And Yoonsun's like, I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it. And so Ian tries to sweeten the deal by making a private promise to Yoonsun that he will train Yoonsun's brother and like help get him all of the medical help that he needs to recover from an injury. Because he's like, I know that your brother is a star hockey player and that he barely missed the tryouts for the national team. So I'll make sure that he gets the medical care and all of the physical therapy and training in with me to make sure he makes it on the team because he deserves it.
Yeah.
And Yoonsun's like, I don't know what you're playing at, but I'll think about it. And he loves his little brother.
Yeah.
So as they kind of separate, you see Yoonsun reflecting on his past. And they definitely have a past together. Yoonsun's father was a hockey coach. And not just any hockey coach, but he was Yoonsun's hockey coach. And who else joined the team, the youth league that they were in, except for Ian? Yoonsun's dad was a super hard coach, and Ian showed more promise than Yoonsun. And so Yoonsun's dad basically abandoned the family to continue working with Ian.
Oh, no.
And to like make Ian this star player. And so not only is Yoonsun's upset feeling built off of jealousy and resentment towards Ian for like separating him and his father, but there's resentment towards his father that's unresolved.
Yeah.
His father passed away and had been ill for a while, and he was in Canada with Ian.
So, yeah.
And so when Ian came to the funeral, they got into a fist fight. Like, Yoonsun just like has cut off that part of his life entirely.
Yeah.
But you see that Ian pushes for Yoonsun to come to some of these different promotional events, and Yoonsun does it. He ends up signing the contract, and they go, you know what would be a great like promotion would be like a social media post of the two of you playing hockey against each other.
Oh, no.
And Yoonsun has a panic attack and passes out.
Aw.
And so who carries him to get medical aid except for Ian? And they talk about it immediately right then and there. And Yoonsun's like, I don't hate you. I don't hate the sport, but I can't do it. Like, I can't breathe when I think about it. It took up so much of my life. And all it did in the end was make me feel less than adequate. And I can't do that to myself. And he's like, and you're pushing to see me. Like, I don't understand. And Ian is like, I don't think you realize the impact that you've had on me. And that's where we've left off.
Oh, my gosh.
It is so good. I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
Plate and spoon. It is so, so good. So glad that I relapsed and bought this one because it's worth all of the money.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great. We love hockey romance. So,
Ugh.
I mean,
I love hockey in general.
yeah.
So it's
The
right up
fights.
my alley. There's nothing better. There's no more entertaining sport, and you can fight me on this. Hockey is the best.
I'll hockey fight you on it.
Well,
Get your skates. Let's go.
well, I have a bad knee, so I'm not going to be doing that.
Well, the first one that I'm talking about today is also one that you love. Killer Crush.
Woo!
You have been telling me to read this forever. I got it on our roulette game. And I'm not finished yet. I'm slowly making my way through it. I finished the first season, though. And since we've talked about this one before, you've gone through the story. You know the story. I'm not going to just, like, tell you the story again.
I mean,
So,
you could.
I could. And
I'd
you
listen to you.
You would love it. But what I wanted to do is just go through a couple of my favorite moments from season 1. So, first and foremost, absolutely love all of the movie references in it. I know I talked about this in the roulette episode. The Leon the Professional mention in the beginning just like made me so happy because I feel like it's like a lesser known movie.
It is. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, so just to see other people recognize that it's a good movie, I'm like, yes, it is.
I love that.
So that one first, I just loved that.
You're a cinephile.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the song Jack Sparrow?
No.
It's a Lonely Island song. And it has, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of who the, this is my own little aside. But I'm trying to think of who it is. Give me 2 seconds because I need to find this because it's going to drive me insane. Michael Bolton.
Oh.
So the song is called Jack Sparrow and it's Lonely Island and Michael Bolton.
Uh-huh.
And the premise of the song is that they're supposed to be doing like some sort of like rap with a, catchy hook that Michael Bolton does. And he oversleeps. So they like meet at the studio. He can't like remember what he was supposed to do. He's like, I'm just going to like do stuff off the fly. And they're like, hell yeah. You go, Michael Bolton. You sing whatever you want. And so they sing this song and it's like about being in the club and like finding a girl or whatever. And then Michael Bolton's part comes in and he's just singing about the movie he was up late watching the night before.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
So he was watching Pirates of the Caribbean. Then they're like, you have to stop with the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. And then he moves on to like different movies. He starts talking about like Aaron Brockovich.
Oh my gosh. I have to listen to that.
You'll have to listen.
Amazing.
I'm like, you know what? If Alex is liking all these movie callbacks, she needs to listen to that song.
I love it. I love it. We'll listen to that once we're done.
Yeah, it'll be our little celebration.
Yeah. But outside of that, the next thing I love is when Dayhawk gets sick and Taemin comes. He's like having a freak out because Dayhawk is like, could you order me some porridge? Taemin doesn't know what type of porridge to get. He's like, I don't know what to do. So instead he goes to Dayhawk's house and he's like, I'm going to make you porridge if that's okay. But when he tells Dayhawk he's on his way, Dayhawk is like a mess. He's sick. So he's obviously not like,
the most presentable.
Yeah, he's not the most presentable. So he's like, all right, I need to make some decisions quickly. I guess I should take a shower. And so he goes to take a shower. And when Taemin comes in, Dayhawk is still naked.
Yeah.
And just trying to get himself together. And Taemin has an absolute panic about it. And his face, when he's panicking, he's like white as a ghost, terrified, like I have to get out of here, and also I'm so sorry that I have intruded on you, and let me just close my eyes forever until you're able to get dressed. And it's just the funniest moment ever. I love it so much because
I
it's
adore
like
them.
Yeah, it's like this big assassin and he's like, oh no, I must protect your modesty. So I loved that. I also loved Solha when he meets Dayhawk at the restaurant and Dayhawk sees that Taemin is Solha's background on his phone. He's like, this is my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, that's really funny. But then you see that Solha is kind of a lovable dick because he's like, you know what? If I can't be happy because I'm in love with the boss, and the boss doesn't love me, if I can't be happy, then you also can't be happy. So I'm going to get that guy to not like you anymore. But it doesn't work because Solha goes and meets him at the park. Mm-hmm. And he sees Dayhawk is there to meet Taemin as well. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to try and kiss Taemin. And Taemin is like, what are you doing? And it's so funny, those panels too, because you can see Taemin trying to get away, but it looks like his lips are disconnected from his face because he's moving his mouth away so quickly. And I love it. So he finally pushes Solha away. And this leads into my next favorite moment, which is when Taemin goes up to Daehak and is like, he's not my boyfriend, and I really like you, and I want to be with you, and then he kisses him through his hand. He, like, shuts Daehak up and then kisses his palm. And it's super, super cute, but they get together and it's adorable. I also love when Solha gets super, super drunk and then goes to the boss's house and is like, I love you. And the boss is like, I know. He's like, you do this all the time.
You could not be more obvious.
And he's like, you're so drunk, you won't remember this. And then he's like, well, if I'm drunk and I won't remember this, will you kiss me? And then he does.
Yeah.
And so then where we've left off at the end of season 1, the boss is calling Taemin to tell him that the gangsters have ignored the first warning. And so I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Yeah.
I also love, if you look in the hiatus notice, it's got a couple of cute little mini panels of just little bonus content. And the funniest little bonus content is when Taemin is borrowing the boss's clothes for hiking. And Solha is like, what? I want to borrow the boss's clothes. So he goes and tries to do the same thing. He's like, can I borrow your clothes to go hiking? And the boss tells him, like, if you're going to go hiking regularly, you should probably just buy your own hiking clothes. And he's devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. It is such a funny story. I know I don't have to tell you that because you already know, but
I'm just sitting here on my high horse.
Yeah.
It'll never be a donkey.
You can't teach a donkey how to be a horse.
It's true. You can't. I'm so happy you read this one.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're reading it. I will say this is one of those stories where I have love for every single character, even the villains.
Yeah. So the stickers were just adorable. I love the gangster, like, being the super badass, but also he's got the pink hair and he's obsessed with the stickers. And it's just so, so cute.
Yeah, it's really adorable.
I love it. You're right. This is one where you can love every character.
Yeah. Even the villains.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's great.
Yeah. I'll take all of the money. So the last one that I read for today is an in-print manga. This is something I actually borrowed from Alex.
A few years ago.
We don't have to call me out.
It's okay because your Wodakoi is still sitting on my shelf. So.
It's okay. I'm just impatiently, like, twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to read it. But I have no leg to stand on with that. So this is all entirely my fault. I should have read this one forever ago because it's beautiful.
It is. I told you.
Yeah. Love and Focus is a romance manga. It's completed. They even have it where you can buy the entire series in one book. So I love that. It's great to just have it all really concise. You don't have to buy all of the separate volumes. It's a little bit more bang for your buck. But this one is amazing. I love it so much. The story starts out with Mako, and we come to know that she's this, like, super lively and passionate girl. She has a passion for photography. It's been instilled in her since she was young. She was practically raised by her grandfather because her parents were gone. So he was her caretaker when she wasn't in school, everything else. But he was a professional photographer. So he taught her everything he knew, all these little tidbits about what should inspire you to capture a picture and, you know, how to do it, how to use all the equipment, everything. And so she has just been gung-ho photography ever since. And she's about to go into high school, but she decides to attend a high school that's away from her hometown because her childhood best friend goes there, and the school has a photography club that's, like, really renowned. There's a professional photographer that teaches the photography classes and runs the club. And she's like, this will be the best exposure I can get to more photography. So her parents agree because her friend Kai is there, and he is just like your everyday adorable golden retriever character. He's pretty great. He is on the phone with her because she got distracted on her way to try to find this, like, boarding house that they stay in for the school. And she ends up calling him. She's like, look, I got distracted and I have no idea where I am. Like, I know I said I knew exactly where I was going, but I've got no clue. Yeah, I lied. You know, like a liar. So he agrees to meet with her. He's like, okay, stay where you're at right now. I'll come and find you. And as she's waiting, she sees this boy about her age playing with a puppy outside. And she's like, the puppy's so cute. And she snaps a candid photo of the boy and the puppy like together. And the boy's like, did you just take a picture of me? You need to delete that now. And she freaks out and she starts running away.
Yep.
Doesn't confront it at all. But who does she run into but Kai, who's like, oh, I'll take you back to the house. You know, you can meet everybody there. And most people are on like a break from the school. So like they're all still coming back from summer break. So it's pretty chill. It'll be like a good time for you to get settled in. So she does go to this boarding house. She's putting up all of her stuff. And when they look out of the window, she and Kai see the boy that she snapped the picture of. She's like, who's that? Is he supposed to be here? And he goes, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. That's Mitsuru. He's totally fine. You know, he just likes to walk the landlady's dog because, you know, he likes puppies. Who doesn't? Right? So it's fine. But she's embarrassed. She's like, oh, okay, I'm going to actually have to confront the fact that I snapped a picture of him without his permission. So she does go to talk to him and try to apologize. And she's like, hi, you know, sorry we started off on the wrong foot. My name's Mako, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry for taking your picture when you didn't like it. He goes, I don't like pictures. I don't want my face in pictures. Don't do that again, but like it's fine. And as he gives her a smirk, she goes, ooh, and she snaps another picture. And he's like, what the hell was that? And she's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And so she tries explaining it to him. She's like, I'm not doing it to like cross your boundaries. I'm just doing it because my grandfather always told me when you see something that makes your heart skip a beat, or when something is just so breathtaking that you don't have the words to express it, you should use photography. Mm-hmm. Mako does print out all of her camera film, and she ends up giving the photo that she took without permission of Mitsuru and gives it back to him. She's like, you can do with this whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I'll actually keep it. Like, I like this one, but like, seriously, stop taking my picture. Like, I'm giving you a pass. Leave me alone. And she feels like she's kind of like taken a step towards being friends with him. And she really starts to settle in this boarding house. She meets all of the other students. There's like a really cute couple that lives with them. And they're like, you should start dating Kai because, you know, you guys are childhood friends and that's how it starts. And she's like, no, it doesn't. But they get back to school. She's joining this club. And when they go to their first club meeting, the photography teacher is really taken by her photos and they really connect. She's like, I've made the right choice coming here to this school. And so he's like, here, I'll give you a photography magazine that I think really helped me when I was first starting out. And you can like take this with you and, you know, look at all the different subjects in there. And on the cover, there's a beautiful photo of a little boy. And she's like, this feels familiar. And she looks at the name and it's Mitsuru. And she goes, this has to be the same person. Mm-hmm. It has to be. So she does confront him. She's like, is this you? And he's like, what do you want? What, you want to like take my picture? Otherwise you're going to like spread it around school. She's like, no, I just want to know if it's you because it's a beautiful picture. And he's like, yeah. And so he goes into his backstory explaining that he doesn't like his picture taken because he was a child model and actor. And he kind of got into it because his mom wanted him to. But he was pretty good at it. Except he would hear all of these adults talking awful about him behind his back. They'd be like, he's not giving us what we need. We should just find someone else. And like, he was just thrust into this. It was never something he wanted to do. And it really shattered his self-confidence. He also got a stalker because there was a mom of another child who got beat out for a couple of these different opportunities with Mitsuru. And she like took it out on him. She was like sending him all of these letters where she's like, you're a stealer. You stole my son's role. I'm going to find you. Mm-hmm. And like, he just became traumatized by it all. So he refused. He's like grown out his bangs so they cover his face. He wears these big glasses. And the goal is just to kind of hide behind this new facade. He like moved out to this boarding school to get away from his previous life in general. And it's just so sad. And so Mako is just saying, like, you can find the beauty in things. She's like, I don't even need to take a picture of your face. She's like, I just, like, something captures me when I'm with you. So, like, let me just, like, snap some photos. And we'll see if you like them. And they won't have your face in it, whatever you're comfortable with. boundaries. So she's learning.
I do love it. I mean, truly though, you have to think about like modern day, you could delete it, but she was using a film camera.
Well, that's what she said. She like explains. She's like, this is a film camera. Like I would have to get the photo.
Like I can throw the photo away, but I can't delete it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no going in digitally to remove that.
Yeah.
So while all of this is happening, Kai is kind of watching Mako use Mitsuru as her muse. And he's like taking note that her photography has taken a shift since meeting Mitsuru. She used to focus on all of these landscapes and all of these pictures of animals and nature, all of that. And now she's almost exclusively taking pictures with Mitsuru in it. Mm-hmm. And he grows extremely jealous. He's not mean to her about it. Like, he stays calm. They're still childhood friends. He has a lot of love for her. But it becomes very obvious that he is also in love with her. And he kind of threatens Mitsuru. He's like, look, I've always promised myself that until I can beat Mako in a photography competition, I won't make any moves on her. But you can't have her.
Which, like, what an arbitrary thing.
I know. Like, I mean, you're talking about a little high school romance story.
I know.
So he kind of oversteps, sees that they're getting close and gets nervous. And he pushes Mako and he's like, I have feelings for you. You don't have to return my feelings right away, but I want an answer. Not to be pushy, but tell me now.
Not to be pushy, but I'm going to push you off this cliff.
And she's like, I mean, I have feelings for you. Like, you're extremely important to me. She's like, I just don't know what those feelings are. I never really had to consider it because we've just been so close. And he goes, then give me a chance and be my girlfriend. And so she agrees to go on like this trial period because she's like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Like, I do have feelings for you. Maybe, he like even poses it. Kai says, if you trial date me, they'll help you to realize what your feelings are. Because maybe it's just hard for you to picture long-term friends becoming something else. She's like, yeah, maybe. So they do start dating. And Kai kind of rubs it in Mitsuru's face. He's like, just so you know, we're dating now. And Mitsuru's like, why are you telling me this? I don't understand. We're not really that close of friends. And Kai kind of sits down and you do see him kind of bearing his own feelings and becoming friendly with Mitsuru. He goes, probably because I'm embarrassed about how it happened. Like, I just felt threatened by you and I did it to try to like corner her. And it just feels wrong. Like, I'm embarrassed for myself. And Mitsuru's like, she wouldn't have said yes if she didn't have some sort of feelings for you. And I'm not the type of person to try to steal somebody away. And so he backs off. But in doing so, he's like, I know I have feelings for Mako as well. And to keep myself in check, I have to put some distance between us. And Mako is just so disheartened by it. She's like, this is my friend. I want to be there, everything else. And she's trying to go on these dates with Kai just to feel like maybe they're, meant to be in this relationship and feeling it out. It's her first relationship. And Kai can tell increasingly as they spend more time together that she's still focused on Mitsuru. He gets this letter while they're all back at the boarding house. And Mitsuru, it looks like he's asking for help with his eyes, is how Mako says it. But it just goes to show that, like, having observed him for so long, she can, like, read his expressions better than other people. And he had gotten a letter that was passed down from his parents and his lawyer from the woman who stalked him saying, like, I want to apologize for having stalked you. And Mako kind of looks at Kai and she's like, oh, he's going through something. We should ask what's going on. And Kai just relents and he goes, yeah, we should help our friend. So they sit down and talk to him. And Kai's like, you don't owe her anything. I wouldn't do it. And Mako says, I think that whatever is going to give you the most peace in this moment is going to be the most important for you. As long as you do it in a safe way. If you wanted to meet with her, like, I can tell that the reason you don't like having your photo taken or being the center of attention or having people look at you is because this still eats at you. And I want you to find peace more than anything. And Mitsuru kind of just ignores what Kai said. He's like, thank you for the advice. And Kai becomes increasingly aware that Mako isn't really his in this relationship. So it turns out Mitsuru does decide he's going to go and see the stalker. He's going with a lawyer, so he's going to be safe. And Mako's like, we have to go. We have to go see, like, if he's okay. And so she and Kai go and watch all of this go down. And it's really, like, a calm, you know, back and forth. She apologizes. And Mitsuru even says, he's like, it's just weird because she's, like, this frail lady who was really bullying this child.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I feel nothing but pity for her. But I do feel better. Like, now that I'm able to, like, close that door. And Kai's like, oh, I have to go do something. I'll be back. And you see him resolve a lot of the unresolved feelings he had with his dad, who was really pushing him away from photography and wanting him to, like, fill the footsteps of being a doctor, when really the dad was actually just wanting to push Kai to be the best he could be and know that there are no limitations. He believes in him to do whatever. And he just didn't want Kai to sell himself short. So you see that, like, the broken relationships there are fixed. And Mako says, like, hey, Kai, I have to talk to you, because she realizes that she has feelings for Mitsuru. And she's like, that's not fair to Kai to continue this trial relationship if it's not working. So they do meet up. She's happy that he resolved all of his feelings. And he's like, here, I'm just going to put everything out on the table. I love you. Now you have to tell me how you feel. She's like, I have love for you, but I like Mitsuru. And he goes, I know. And he kisses her and he goes, you're still my best friend. And they go back to this boarding house, and on their way there, they run into Mitsuru, and she and Mitsuru confess that they both have feelings for one another, and that's the end.
I love it.
It is so beautiful. It's like the least toxic little fluffy romance. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I needed it in my life.
And this tells you how good it is. I don't like a love triangle, but I love this one.
Yeah.
It is so good. I'm so glad you finally read it.
I know. There's one more thing I'll say about it. There is, like, a little snippet bonus story at the end of this one as well, where, you know, they're kind of reflecting on the magazine shoot that Mitsuru did as a kid. And this is after Mako and Mitsuru are together now. And Mako's just like, it's just such a great photo. The photographer just really knew you so well. And he's reflecting back on it in his head. And you see that the photographer of the photo was her grandfather. Yeah. And he remembers being told as a kid that, like, the grandfather had said all these encouraging things to his granddaughter. He's like, I just encourage her to find the beauty in everything and to chase the things that inspire her, and to find happiness in where she's at and what she's doing, and, like, look at the beautiful things in the world. And he's like, and I want you to be able to do that too. And he's like, you don't have to give me a picture, but if you can, like, we'll do something beautiful. And you see that the photo just turned out gorgeous. And he's smiling because he's like, you know, the grandfather had said, I hope one day you can meet my granddaughter because she just brings joy to whoever she's around. And he's like, that's true. She brought joy to me too.
Oh,
and Mako's like, what are you thinking about? And he goes, nothing.
I love it. It makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. I love this one. The reason I bought this one is because it was a photography one.
I know.
And I mean, I'm just so happy I did. It's gorgeous. I love it.
It was so funny because even while I was reading this, I wanted to read it with you because I wanted to give you the book back.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that they were talking about with, like, exposure and things, like, I didn't understand. So I was like, I could Google it, but I've got my personal photography Google right here.
Here we go.
I'm like, how do you take good pictures of the moon and stars? And you're, like, explaining it to me.
I did that. Have you ever seen 1 Hour Photo?
Mm-mm.
So 1 Hour Photo is a thriller movie.
Okay.
And it's got Robin Williams. He plays the villain in
Ooh.
it. He's amazing. I absolutely adore this movie. But he works at, like, essentially a CVS photo studio.
Yeah.
But it's not CVS. It's whatever, you know.
They had at the time.
Yeah. And so he's working here, and he calls the repairman for the printers because he's like, there's a cyan shift of 2. And I was watching it at the time. I was watching it with a couple of friends, and one of them was like, is that really noticeable? And I'm like, yes, it is. A cyan shift of 2? Are you kidding? Everything's going to look blue.
I love it so much.
So, like, yeah, he was creepy, but also he was right.
I love when there's that context of things and you find the people who are passionate about it and they're like, duh. But it was so refreshing to be able to be like, I don't know what this is. And then have like my own little expert in the corner able to tell me everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
It was just so cute.
I'm so glad.
Start to finish. I know you own this one, but I want to own it.
They have it at our local bookstore.
I know. And
You
they
could
probably
buy your
have
own
it.
copy.
They probably have it at your local bookstore, listeners.
Probably.
So
Go buy it. Love and Focus. The last one that I'm talking about today is also one that is so painfully cute. I wanted to cry.
yeah.
I loved it so much. It's Boyfriends. This is on Webtoon. I have purchased all of the available volumes in the physical copies, so I have the first 3. And
I think volume 4 comes out this summer.
I think it does. I think you're right. It's the most adorable story ever. It's kind of perfect. It's a polyamorous story. It's a chibi focus. Like, everything is just bubblegum colors. Absolutely the cutest thing I've ever seen.
It's like the creator sat down and went, okay, what kind of audiobooks does Alex listen to? What kind of art style does Alex like? What color palette does Alex like?
It's just adorable. It's got a goth, a prep, a jock, and a nerd. They're not given names, but I will let you, the listener, know that if you go to this creator's Patreon and you sign up for their Patreon, you can find out what their names are. I'm not going to tell you because I want you to go and sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah, that's cheating.
But it's just as adorable as everything else. Essentially, what happens here is we have the goth and the prep, our childhood friends, they're roommates in college, and the prep is wanting to get a boyfriend, but he's like, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to flirt. And the goth is like, let me show you. And he goes and he sees this little nerdy boy. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go and get his number. And he does. And then the nerd and the goth start dating. They're adorable. The nerd changes his hair all the time, which I relate to. And it's just the cutest little bubblegum hair colors. So they start dating. The nerd is like, also, I have a crush on the jock and the prep. As an aside, it took me 160 pages to realize that I didn't know their names.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So once the goth hears that his boyfriend has a crush on his best friend and another guy, he's like, you know what? I think that we could bring them into our relationship and it would be like a good mix.
Yeah.
And so they plan together to bring the other two into their relationship. But they're like, okay, we're coming on a little strong. So what they end up doing is they get the jock and the prep to be in a relationship themselves, the two of them. And so they invite them out to like lunch.
Yeah.
And so they're going to lunch. The prep is just absolutely nervous about everything. He's like, I made a fool of myself in front of the jock and he's just going to think I'm so stupid. And so he like runs away and hides. And then they tell the jock to go after him. That's when they like confess their feelings to each other. And so they start dating. And then the goth starts slowly making comments of like, well, maybe the 4 of us could date. Or like, are you a little jealous that I'm dating the nerd because like you could probably get in on this? And so then like slowly they start to open up and think about like maybe we could be a polycule. And so they do decide that the 4 of them want to date. The goth and the nerd are like, we'll leave it up to you. You guys tell us like what you're comfortable with because like we've already decided that we'd be comfortable with adding more people in and we want to make sure you're comfortable too. So they do go and have like a in-depth conversation about like rules and what is our relationship going to look like. And me personally, I loved it. I was like, good, open communication. We're being honest from the start. Everyone's laying down their rules and their expectations and their hard limits, and we're all good to go.
Yeah.
So then they start, the 4 of them dating. They're just like navigating new relationships because it's new to all of them. None of them have ever been in a poly relationship before, but they all are really wanting to explore it. Then we see that the nerd he's taken on like an extremely high class load. He's doing a double major. So he has a lot on his plate, and he's really struggling in one class. He ends up being late a lot of the time, and his assignments are not up to the teacher's par. And the teacher is kind of mean to him and is like, look, I see that you have a lot on your plate, but you shouldn't put my class last. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to, then you might as well just drop this. Mm-hmm. And he gets really upset about it. So he goes to his goth boyfriend and he's like, I'm really sad. I'm upset that this teacher was mean to me. And the goth boyfriend, he gets on his phone. He's like, boyfriend's a symbol. And so they all come and they comfort the nerd.
Like Avengers.
It's so cute. It's so cute. I just want to die.
I mean, don't do that. Then how would you read more of it?
Cuteness overload. I can't help it.
I know.
And so then they decide to make a study group. The goth, not too into it. He's like, I have to study. I don't like this. And the prep is like, yeah, you do. You're doing it for the nerd. Duh.
Sir.
So they form their study group. They make it through finals. And then the prep, he comes from a wealthy family. And so he brings them all to his beach vacation home. The funniest thing happens while they're there. So the first day, the nerd, he's like having his internal monologue and he's like, this is great. We're here at the beach. I'm going to get to see all of my boyfriends in Speedos. He's super excited about it.
Yeah.
And then they go to the beach and the prep, he's just in what the nerd calls his drunk uncle clothes. And he's going to go hang out at the bar.
Yeah.
The goth is wearing black regular swim trunks with a black hoodie and a black face mask. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I am ready to go back inside. I don't like the sun. And the jock is like wearing a full wetsuit. And he's like, I'm ready to go surfing. And the nerd, he has my absolute all-time favorite quote where he says, sir, please give me a crumb of skin.
So funny.
I love it. He's just like, he's so forward with everyone, and I just love him. He's adorable. And so they all have a good time at the beach. And really, like, where I'm at, I've only read the first book. So I still have 2 more volumes to get through, and I'm super excited about it. Mm-hmm. But they're just, like, getting closer, getting into their individual relationships. You see them each go off on pairs and have dates of their own. The jock and the goth end up going to, like, a record store and looking through music together. And the nerd takes each of them individually on a roller skating date, and he figures out in the first one that if he pretends that he doesn't know how to roller skate, that the rest of them will take care of him. So he does that with every single one of them. And it's just the cutest story I've ever read. I don't think I've ever read a cuter story.
Do you have a favorite out of the entire polycule?
See, I tried to think about that, and I can't choose. They're just all so adorable. I want to say, like, the nerd, but I also want to say the goth. And
they all have something they bring to the table.
Yeah, they all have, like, their own little characteristics and just little personalities that, like, they all bring something to the relationship. Aww. And it's just the most adorable story I've ever read. I love this one so much. I can't recommend it enough.
I've seen it. It's beautiful.
It's so cute. And the color palette is perfect.
I did start reading it as a webtoon.
Yeah.
And what I read, I loved of it. But I didn't get super far. Yeah. I think I got to the point where they all sat down in, like, this diner or something.
Yeah.
They're like, we should all date.
That's it. That's where they're defining their little rules.
Yeah. So it is super cute.
I love it.
I loved it
so much.
I haven't bought this one as a physical copy. I'll probably just borrow yours.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm running out of room on my bookshelf.
I mean, that's fair.
That's even after my wonderful husband has gone through and built bookshelves into the wall for me.
Yeah.
I know. I think that I do want to use this time to make an aside. We have been a lot more active on our Instagram. So if you are curious to learn about different in-print volumes of some of our favorite webcomics that are coming out, you can always tune in there to see all of the different announcements about things coming out. Side note, Murderous Llewellyn and Painter of the Night are going to have print versions coming out this year. So
we have pre-ordered both of them already.
Yes. So if you want to make sure you're not missing out on anything, you can definitely interact with us there. We're always happy for recommendations, just to talk with you all. It's super fun. But thank you all so much for joining us, talking about more of our TBR stories. Looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.